That's from the Pet Sounds album, The Beach Boys with You Still Believe in Me, here on the Vintage Rock and Pop Shop. And someone who never stopped believing in the Beach Boys is David Beard, who runs the Endless Summer Quarterly fan magazine, which every Beach Boys fan should be reading. He's also got a music project called the Bamboo Trading Company, which we'll talk about in just a moment. But David, welcome to the show. And how did you get into the Beach Boys in the first place?
I started with the Best of the Beach Boys. I had one of those, RCA or Columbia. I don't remember which, 10 albums for a penny or whatever it was. And at Best of the Beach Boys. And then in that, I also ordered Pet Sounds.
Right.
And I remember listening to that the first time and maybe getting 3 songs in and stopping it and putting it away for a long time because I don't remember what age I was, but I was I didn't appreciate it. And by the time I really started to get into it in my early 20s, I discovered Wild Honey, Do It Again, Smiley Smile, and Friends on those weird 1974 beige twofer albums on Reprise. So I didn't even know what the original artwork for those albums looked like. I was just listening, and I thought, these are... I remember pulling out the Smiley Smile album and putting that on for the first time, and hearing She's Going Bald and the Woody Woodpecker Symphony stuff. And I went, what is this? And being fascinated by it, because I couldn't figure out how it happened. I couldn't,
Right.
I didn't know that it was like, what did this, when was this? I was just trying to wrap my mind around, because by that time I like Pet Sounds, but it still didn't sound like anything,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Pre-internet, you had to be like Sherlock Holmes. You'd get the puzzle pieces and put it all together and figure out how this album led to that album. And, well, I guess people who are getting the Made in California box set will have sort of a shorthand version of that experience. Are you excited about what's on the box set?
Well, without question. Before ever seeing what was going to be on it, this whole thought of another box set coming out, I kept thinking, well, how's it going to be different from what we already have between the Twofers and the 93 box set and even the Pet Sounds box set and the Smile box set. I thought, what's going to be, with all the stuff that we have, what's really going to be different? And I knew that I kind of, in the back of my mind, with knowing some of what was being looked into to put on here because of, knowing Alan Boyd and Mark Lynette as I do. And Alan's a good friend, not just to me, but to... He's really every Beach Boy fan's best friend.
Right.
I'll say that. And so all I knew before this box set was announced, that he really cared about getting California feeling heard, and that he really wanted it out there, and that he himself personally was putting time and energy into making a version of that was going to be special for the listener. And I ended up seeing that there's a demo of it in addition to a full-on version of it. So I guess the full-on version of it is his way of saying, listen to the demo, now listen to this, and, really turning us on to a song that many of us have heard about or heard on bootlegs or what have you, and I think we're going to be in for a treat with that.
What's your reaction to fans who've said, well, they should have left off more of the hits and put some more rarities on the box set?
I'm sure the day the set list came out for this box set, I'm sure because I saw some.
Yeah, I saw it too, yeah.
Where's so-and-so and so-and-so? I thought this song was going to be on there. I thought that song was going to be on there. And, there is no way that, fans have to understand that there's no way you can put out a box set with the Beach Boys and not have their hits on it. Fans have to understand, now that the Smile box set has won a Grammy, that means there's a lot of attention, and there's probably a whole new generations. And, the folks that don't know about Pet Sounds, which is crazy to you and me,
right?
They're going to get turned on to it by this because they might just throw down the money. And I'm hoping, like they did with the Smile box set, because they did the really elaborate box, but then they did the smaller one too.
Right.
So I'm hoping maybe there will be like an offshoot of this 6 CD box that'll be like the best of the Made in California, which will have something, like a compilation that will be less expensive, that will maybe allow the casual fan to get that, where there is 2 discs, where the first disc is like, maybe like the Sounds of Summer type of thing, where it's that, and it's or like 50 big ones from last year.
Right.
I mean, it's overkill, certainly it is, but it's a way to keep reintroducing their catalog. You know, it's legitimate to complain, oh no, here comes another greatest hits package. But on that same note, you know, there's a reason the Beach Boys are as big as they are, and that they're now on their sixth generation of fans.
Well, the thing is, these compilations work, whether it be 50 Big Ones, which I bought, you know, I mean, I already have all those songs 100 times over, but I bought that, you know, I have to support my guys, or this box set made in California. These things work. And if there is a new audience out there that's discovering the Beach Boys for the very first time, and there always is, it's handy to have a package sitting there ready to go.
That's right, and to you or I, I'm going to assume this about you. We like packaging. We like to hold either an LP or a CD in our hand. But I think the real triumph here, for me personally, just me as a fan personally, is to see so much Dennis Wilson.
Yeah.
You know, I'll just use the phrase, egos be damned. I think these guys finally got it. You know, all of them obviously had to be okay with this for this to get through like this. And to have Dennis's songs that he did with Daryl Dragon, you know, Fallen in Love, Sound of Free.
Right.
I mean, I'm just looking at this, and I'm amazed that on disc 3 we have, just towards the end there, well, we've got Celebrate the News, we've got then a few tracks down, we got Slip On Through, then we have Forever, then we have It's About Time, then we have Fallen in Love, Sound of Free. I mean, it's almost a half of a Dennis, and a Little Bird is up there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's full of Dennis, and it just makes me so happy that his presence is represented that well on this collection.
You know,
that's a big deal to me.
Yeah. You know, I mentioned at the top of this interview that you ran ESQ, Endless Summer Quarterly, the definitive Beach Boys fan magazine, and you're also the executive producer of this new CD from the Bamboo Trading Company. How did this all come about? Well,
ESQ, Endless Summer Quarterly. I mean, because, you know, doing something for 20 years, you meet like-minded people who all work for this, you know, one time or another under the same umbrella, you know, for the different musicians who all know each other and, you know, the principals. And so it's, I don't know if you're familiar. Are you familiar with Bob Green's When We Get to Surf City, the book?
No.
It's a great book. It's about just hanging out with those guys and going on stage with them and performing songs with the Surf City All-Stars. And the Surf City All-Stars are a group comprised of Gary Griffin, who is, you know, been in Brian's band. He's played on the Reimagined Gershwin album and the Kia Disney album. Gary is just kind of this, like, unknown player, not like the other Brian Wilson band members, because everybody kind of knows the Brian Wilson band members because the majority of them have been around since '99 with Brian, and we all know them. They're all super guys, but Gary is just one of those guys who's, you know, he's not always with the Brian Wilson band, although he has toured with Brian several times. He's not always there. And Gary's just like all those other guys. You know, he can do so many things. You know, he can't just do just one thing. He's got this incredible gift of talent that, like Probin Gregory, like Darian Sahanaja, like Scott Bennett, like, you know, all of Brian's band members can do, and Nelson Bragg, all these multiple things. And otherwise they wouldn't be in the band because Brian needs them to be able to do multiple things.
Right.
And Jeffrey Foskett, you know, and on and on and on. And Gary's every bit like that. Gary and I were commissioned in 2011. I got into discussions with a friend of mine. He's a subscriber to ESQ, and we got talking. And he's kind of a B-movie guy. That's what he does for a living. He is a screenwriter and screen director, and, you know, for B movies, and that's his shtick. And his name's Steve Latshaw, and Steve and I were in talks. I had sent him a demo of a song called "Don't Say It's Over," which is on the Bamboo Trading Company, and it's a song I started writing back in 2005. It's just a pop song, and it's an homage to the Beach Boys and Jan and Dean. I mean, it was originally written it was inspired by Jan's death. when Jan died in 2004. That's kind of what got that ball rolling in my mind. It's kind of like a do it again, get you back.
Right.
Let's just not say it's over. Let's just keep the dream alive.
Right.
The music will go on forever, that type of thing, as well as the friendships. And I sent that to Steve. It was just a demo, and he immediately sent me this email. Said, "Man, I got goosebumps." And so that got the ball rolling. Steve commissioned. He talked to me, and I said, "I want to work with Gary Griffin." And long story short, we were commissioned for 4 songs. Well, 2 new ones, and then I supplied 4 altogether. "Don't Say It's Over," "Star of the Beach," which was co-written with a guy named Miami Dan Yo, who is also in the group. And Gary and I wrote 2 originals, Tonga Hut and Shrewd Awakening. And Shrewd Awakening is the one we made a music video for. It's up on the Return of the Killer Shrews movie website. Mm-hmm. And we just had a fun time writing them. And they were tiki style. The 4 songs that got into the movie, we had 2 that were exotica, tiki, the new ones, and then we had 2 that were pop. And so by the time we had to turn the music in, which was November 2011, by the time 2011 ended, I thought, my gosh, here are 4 songs. We don't know the fate of this movie. What's going to happen with these 4 songs? These 4 songs are really, really good. So I was determined, bound and determined, to pull the talent together that we had already used on those 4 songs, which was Gary, Dean, Matt Jardine, Al's son, of course,
sure,
and Philip Bardowell, who's in the Surf City All-Stars, was with the Beach Boys band for many years.
Yeah.
They're all super talented, and anybody who's ever heard Randell Kirsch knows this. Randell is an incredible, incredible talent. I think one of the earliest bands he was in was with Jeffrey Foskett called The Pranks, and that goes way back. But Randell I got lucky because here I wanted to do this group, the Bamboo Trading Company, which is kind of fashioned after another homage. The whole thing's just a big homage to all these guys and Jan and Dean and the Beach Boys. Just the whole thing is. I mean, it's my way. It was my musical way of saying thank you to them, and then they brought their A game, which is kind of like them walking in their sleep. I don't mean to make it sound like they didn't give effort, because you can hear the great results, but they're just so good. And I hope that people take the time to listen to this CD, because I think they'll really be blown away. And very few pop songs. In fact, the debut of a pop song with a baritone sitar on it, thanks to Randell, on Kitty Hawk, and the Bamboo Trading Company theme song. I mean, it was like it was all having fun. It's just like these underutilized, wonderfully gifted people that I had the good fortune of being around and bringing them together and letting them do what they do naturally. So It was my pleasure to do that for them and with them.
Where's the best place for listeners to go to find out more about the Bamboo Trading Company?
The best way to find out about the group and more about the members is just to go to Facebook and type in the Bamboo Trading Company, and it'll bring up the page, and you can click on the About button, and it'll tell you who everybody is and that's on the album, and it'll also give you an official link to the band's official page, which is actually inside of, if you're following this, Return of the Killer Shrews website.
Okay.
And that's where the music video is with Dean in it, and and David Marks is on a couple tracks, and Probin Gregory is on a couple tracks, and I would really describe it as over 40 minutes of lighthearted, good time, summertime pop music. If a Beach Boy fan has been, kind of eagerly awaiting a summertime release, I don't think they'd be disappointed if they picked up this CD at all.
Well, thanks for being on the show, David, and we're going to prove that right now by playing the track that we talked about just a moment ago. Here's the Bamboo Trading Company with Don't Say It's Over.